What's going on, y'all? VNNCZ3 here, and that's right. I am so glad you stopped by. No one but you, sir. To spend some of your quality time to come hang out with me, I suppose. Yeah. Oh. Let's talk about Guild Showdown. Let's talk about that. Yeah. My guild won. I got the rewards from all these things. I was gonna show you guys, but I'm telling you guys right now, it was not 5,000 gems worth of stuff. Not even remotely close. You know, this was not designed for you guys to send in marches of 300 to 375. It wasn't, because the rewards simply aren't going to be that in return. They're just not. You're lucky if you get one of these bad boys. You're really lucky if you get one of these bad boys. Super lucky. You know, but aside from that though, you've got to get like 2 or 3 Bravehearts for it to be like worth your while. So right off the bat, guys, I know a lot of you guys have already used the 20% and the 50% because you wanted to win. Because you wanted to do one of these. Because you wanted to hit rank 1. And which, by the way, not only did I congratulate my guild for doing such a great job and having such good teamwork, we actually are a team. We are not just we log in, collect guild gifts, don't really talk to each other. You know, we don't really have our own agenda. We actually work as a team, and that's why we actually beat out a lot of the guilds that are obviously a lot better geared than us and have more T4 players. We beat those guys, by the way. That's why we are rank 1 in my division, right? Let's move on from that though, okay? I also want to let you guys know that the people in my guild are going to be getting rewarded. And I gotta put it out there, guys. I'm sorry. I know you guys don't want to hear this kind of crap, right? But I'm letting you know right now, Radu, Samurai Panda, and Kipple are all going to be receiving in-game items and or gift cards or whatever the case may be for doing such an amazing job on their guild showdown, right? Why not reward your guild? Does your guild do that for you? Do they reward you for doing a good job, or is just being a member your reward? Why are you with them? Join us. Nobody messes with us, bros. Nobody messes with us. And this is why we win rank. We won! Guys, do you think because we're trap accounts, we're not gonna do good? Anyways, let's talk about this for a quick second, fam. Just looking back at these battles, I see so many people like this guy right here, Nevermore, to send out a guy like Trickster and Green Heroes. Now, I'm not gonna bag on anybody for doing anything, okay? I'm not gonna call anybody out, alright? But what I would tell you right now is that do not, under any circumstances, send out heroes like that unless it's your only option, right? Having a gold Trickster is still good for his ability he uses when he grows really big, right? When he grows really big, look. Let's go like this, right? I'll show you one of these matches. There we go. Let's go like this. Let's view the battle really quick, right? Just really quick. This is what I'm talking about. Wait for it. Boom. You see these guys getting really large like that? That's what I'm talking about. That's the only time that Trickster is ever going to be worth anything. Otherwise, the regular attacks that your troops do are based off of the stats your heroes give, right? I commend a person like this guy, like Jay Brown, for using a hero like Oathkeeper. Oathkeeper is great. In fact, let's talk about that really quick here. The 2 heroes that are going to be the absolute most beneficial for 99.99% of the people who watch any of the Lord's mobile videos is going to be Rose Knight and Bomb and Goblin, just because they both give 20% army attack. One's range, one's cav. Guess what? Neither of them are frontline, right? Unless you use the phalanx or whatever. And we'll get into the army lineups here in a bit, okay? Let's focus on these heroes. There's too many people that don't have Bomb and Goblin, but they've got a hero like Death Knight, who is absolutely useless, by the way. He offers no attack stats at all. The only benefit you get out of him is really just him growing big and using his special attack. That's it. Because 9 times out of 10, you lose the march against each other. And we'll get into that in a bit too, how it's actually set up, right? You lose that march because your infantry line got pummeled, right? So I told you guys a long time ago, you know, phalanxes and wedges and the difference between the two. I told you guys that well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on the heroes still, okay? The heroes, I would recommend all the free-to-play people, even the pay-to-win people, if you do not have gold, Songstress of the Seas, and purple Songstress of the Seas and stuff like that, you're probably going to want to use heroes like Oathkeeper, and I'll tell you why. Because he's got a huge amount of infantry boost that he gives, and infantry attack. That's one hero. How about Demon Slayer as a second hero? More HP and more attack. HP and morale can almost be linked together with the two, but you can't really say that one's better than the other. You really can't. Like, I physically cannot tell you that it's better. I just can't tell you that that it's what for the morale is what I'm talking about. The attack, HP, and defense, but there is kind of a link with HP and the morale, but that has to do with the troops. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. The actual squad's HP. Look at the squads right here. You'll see the HP bars go off right here. See this? And already his morale is gonna plummet. It's gonna plummet. Just watch. Right? 93, 91, 89, 50, 85. It's plummeting rapidly now at this point, right? Because his front line's gone, and these little HP bars almost directly control this morale bar. Right? And so that's why a lot of players like Bren Chong, you know, not to be confused with myself, right? Not to be confused with my account, right? Let me show you guys, right? You know, Bren Chong, it's a little different, right? Not to be confused with my account. But that's why those players like that stack such a high amount of HP on everything for the most part. It's because it kind of correlates with one another. But let's continue, okay? Let's continue. I'm gonna put this in like fast forward motion, at least times 2 or 3, right? What I'm trying to say here, fam, is that, you know, the HP is gonna matter a great deal, and that's why I recommend using heroes like Demon Slayer and Oathkeeper. One thing I will mention right here is that the formations do matter quite a lot, okay? Now, obviously, a cavalry phalanx is probably gonna beat an infantry phalanx when both troops are equally matched and the stats are equally matched, okay? The cav phalanx will beat the infantry phalanx, so why not use one of those, right? Well, because a lot of guys here are really ranged heavy. Like some of these guys, 300k stealth snipers right there, right? So if you used all cavalry or whatever the case is, you're gonna get smoked, right? And so let's talk about the best troop mix-ups. What I witnessed here on the guild showdowns is that infantry, cavalry, troop marches did the absolute best. They inflicted the most damage and won the most matches. The second most one that I saw was heavily infantry and ranged. And then of course third was the mixed troops. Now I did see one of these guys send in 375,000, not these guys, but I watched it last night. I saw one guy send in 375,000 infantry with all infantry stuff, okay? All infantry stuff. All infantry heroes, they were all gold, and they did really good, actually. They went on to like a 6 period, but the moment they went against like Radu or something like that, they got crushed, right? Because the stats are that much better. And Z right here crushed a lot of people too, because they primarily used infantry cavalry. So what I would recommend if it was me and I was you guys is, if you're watching this video, I would recommend using probably, you know, I wouldn't pop a 5k, I wouldn't pop the buff, bros, I just wouldn't. I would send about 100k infantry, 100k cavalry, and 50k range. That would be my next, like, my next, like, sending out. That's personally what I will do next. I will send out 100k, 100k, and 50k. Mainly because I want to make sure that my morale on my troops, my HP and all that stuff, is pristine. So it doesn't get messed with, okay? So yeah, we talked about heroes, which ones you should be focusing on. We talked about the army lineups. Now the marches. Let's talk about the lineups, okay? I'm still a huge fan of the infantry phalanx. I just am. I don't know why. I just think that it hits the hardest. It gets your troops safe from range, basically. Infantry, wedge, or phalanx, in my opinion, are the best because your opponent's range are going to consistently keep shooting at them until they're gone, basically. And so that's why the infantry phalanx, in my opinion, is the strongest. Now, a lot of guys will disagree. I really don't care. Disagree all you want. We won our guild fest, or our guild showdown. Did you guys? And if you did, let me know in the comments, right? I know I talked about it already, but I'm gonna reward my guild, and this is what your guild leaders should be doing. Your guild leaders should be figuring something out to reward you guys for putting in such a good effort, right? I mean, if they're not, then why are you still in that guild? Ask yourself that question, right? So we talked about the heroes, we talked about the troops. Let's talk about the lineups, okay? The reason why you do not want to use a wedge, and I've been over this a few times, is because the way these troops are all lined up, it takes 4 seconds, or it's either 2 or 4 seconds, for this line back here to catch up to this front line. Unlike this right here, where it doesn't take 4 seconds, it's pretty instant, actually. These guys all collide with one another, right? These guys are very unison. The phalanxes are all unison, and they all launch at the same time, all that stuff, right? You know? But it's not going to work out too well for you if you're using the wedges. Because you gotta wait, bros. You just have to. It's more of a defensive approach. As far as the morale goes, I don't believe the wedge is going to beat the phalanx. That's my opinion, right? And the reason I say that is because, like I said, you gotta wait for these guys to bash in. My phalanx is already doing a lot of work on your wedge, and the only reason you use a wedge, and I've said this many times, is to protect the higher tier troops. So in this one though, you should be sending the maximum. If you're T4, send all your March T4. Don't send T3, send all T4, right? And because you're not going to lose any troops, right? And so likewise with this, why would you send a wedge out that's inferior to damage when you can send a phalanx out that's going to do that much more damage? Now, that's me, right? I would only use a phalanx. I would not use a wedge under any circumstances. I just wouldn't, you know? And getting back to the whole, you know, spending the 20 or getting the March increase, right? Getting the March increase for first place or second place, like, bros, I got 2 golds and 2 of the 8-hour speed ups and a 500 gem, right, for these red boxes. For the blue box, I got an 8-hour speed up. That's not even close to the amount of gems and or guild coins that you will need. Like this, like the army size, right? 240k guild coins. I wouldn't even spend that, bros, because you're not going to get that in return. You're just not. And so for you guys that did do that, I commend you. It's kind of a waste, though. I get it, guild pride, all that stuff, but bros, these events are directly for you to benefit your accounts. Why would you set your account back when you're not really taking any steps forward? You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm gonna say about that. If you guys won your guild fest or your guild bash, your guild showdown, all that stuff, let me know in the comments, man. Because I'll tell you what, I'm seriously super proud of these guys. Every single one of these members I am absolutely proud of, because they all put in more work than they needed to. We have our trap guys, and don't think because we're a bunch of traps that we lack in stats. I've showed you guys my main trap account. It's got 300% in all the attacks. That's a lot more than a lot of T4 players are rocking, right? And we had T3 guys beating T4 guys. 1v1. Full March versus full March. Why? Because their stats were that much higher. They were just that much higher, right? They shouldn't have won. Well, get your marches better heroes, get your lineup correct, and make sure you come correct on stats. You know, I didn't even talk about relics or anything else, bros, because I shouldn't have to, right? But I don't know, man. Look, if you guys want me to go more into depth, more into detail about these kind of things, let me know in the comments, and I will absolutely do that, okay? Because I'm a big fan of listening to you guys. But, yeah, man. You know what? Y'all know what I'm talking about, though. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Be safe. Thanks for stopping by to spend some of your quality time. And, you know, stay classy. Don't pay attention to that.